Welcome to the world of professional dental materials made by OLIDENT. You will find out what makes OLIDENT products special, how to use them, and how they can change your everyday work. OliSil Heavy is a hydrophilic a-silicone impression material. Its consistency and final hardness make it suitable for all impression techniques. OliSil Heavy is available only in the Maxi Mix cartridge, which guarantees clean and fast application. In addition, thanks to the automatic mixing, the material is always homogeneous and bubble-free. Only auto-mix impression materials can provide extremely fine-flowing initial consistency and advanced thixotropic properties. This gives them a definite advantage over hand-mixed materials. Neither OliSil Heavy nor OliSil Hydro exhibit significant resistance at the time of inserting the tray into the patient's mouth because they become flowable under pressure. Thus, the OliSil Heavy base material facilitates the flow of the correction material. OliSil Hydro is an extremely fine-flowing a-silicone correction impression material for use in all impression techniques. Its versatility and reliability have made it one of the most trusted impression materials on the market. OliSil Hydro is a premium impression material which combines two seemingly distant features: flowability and stability. It is highly flowable during application, but at the same time it does not flow down from the preparation site and does not drip. If necessary, it is enough to apply a small force, for example blow air from the unit, to ensure that the material reaches the desired place. The result is an extremely detailed impression followed by perfectly matched prosthetic restorations. OliSil Hydro displays excellent affinity to moist surfaces of teeth and the mucosa. The pressure buildup displaces residual water and saliva, and the hydrophilic properties of the material ensure that it flows into even the most inaccessible places. This guarantees highly precise reproduction of details, especially with regard to subgingival areas. Hydrophilic properties are perfectly illustrated by the so-called wettability test. It imitates the behavior of an impression material in the moist oral cavity. The active surfactants in OliSil Hydro reduce its surface tension in contact with a liquid. The lower the tension, the better the material will be able to reproduce details in the moist environment. Other factors determining the quality of the impression taken include the resistance to tearing and deformations when removing the tray with the cured impression material. OliSil Hydro meets these requirements, hence protects the smallest details of the impression. The procedure for taking an impression of teeth 3-6 and 4-6 prepared for an inlay and onlay reconstruction. When working with a-silicone impression materials, remember not to use latex and powdered gloves because contact with sulfur compounds may affect the bonding process. Border lock is a special impression tray that acts as an individual impression tray in one-step impressions. Optimally matched shapes and sizes as well as closed rear edges allow for the necessary increase in the stagnation pressure of the impression material. As a result, the impressions are highly precise and the consumption of the material is up to 40% lower. The border lock set includes a special size gauge which makes it easy to select the right tray. In the case of the maxilla, measurement gauges should rest on the second molar and second premolar from the vestibular side, and in the case of the mandible, from the lingual side. A measurement should be transferred onto the attached template, which allows selecting the correct tray number. We recommend checking if the given tray does not compress the mucosa inside the oral cavity. border-lock tray should be covered with a special adhesive for a-silicones, which increases the adhesion of the impression material. OliSil adhesive has been used in this case. The short drying time of the adhesive allows you to proceed immediately to the next stage of the procedure. We recommend Oli Orange for removing adhesive and impression material residues from impression trays. The product can also be used to remove remains of gypsum, cement, and other impurities from any dental instruments. The packaging contains one OliSil Heavy cartridge and mixing tips. The cartridge must be placed in a mixing machine. All OliSil impression materials are compatible with standard mixing devices available on the market. The cartridge protection cap should be removed and discarded. The used mixing tip with the cured impression material will serve as a plug. The OliSil Hydro packaging contains two cartridges with the impression material, mixing tips, and intraoral tips. The OliSil Hydro cartridge should be placed inside a dosing gun with a mixing ratio of 1:1. The cartridge protection cap should be removed and discarded, and a mixing and intraoral tip attached. The used mixing tip with the cured impression material will serve as a plug. The one-step technique is much faster than the two-step technique, but it requires assistance when preparing the impression tray with the first layer of the impression material. During the first use of the cartridge, squeeze out approximately 2 cm of the impression material and discard it. This will allow leveling out the base material and the catalyst in the cartridge. The mixing tip should be immersed in the material at all times. This will prevent the formation of air bubbles. While applying the material on the tray, syringing the prepared prosthetic field with the OliSil Hydro impression material should also begin. During the first use of the cartridge, squeeze out approximately 2 cm of the impression material and discard it. This will allow leveling out the base material and the catalyst in the cartridge. When syringing with the correction material, make sure that the mixing tip is always submerged in the material. If necessary, you can gently blow air to move the impression material to a desired location. We also recommend that you use OliSil Hydro on top of the first layer in the tray. The tray should be inserted gently and uniformly into the oral cavity, parallel to the entire dental arch. Any other method brings about the risk of multiple voids. Hold the tray in place until both impression materials have hardened. After 3 minutes, the impression tray should be removed and rinsed with water and then disinfected. The impression is ready to be sent to the laboratory. Excellent detail reproduction and dimensional stability of the impression after bonding guarantees perfectly matched prosthetic restorations. The properties of OliSil impression materials are appreciated by both dental practitioners and technicians. Visit our YouTube channel or our website at www.olident.com to learn more about all OLIDENT products.